Today, I'll be talking with Antonio Garcia de Villa, IT project manager at Lenovo. Hey, Antonio, I know you've got a really interesting Caspio and low-code journey. So why don't you share with everyone a little bit about yourself, your background, and your company?
Hi, Paul. Yeah, it's my pleasure to here with you and your Caspio fans. So yeah, as you mentioned, I'm Antonio Garcia. I'm from Mexico City. I'm here in Lenovo from 7 years ago. So I'm focused in Lenovo Services, specifically in services for LATAM. And we attend all the warranty process for our end customers. And obviously, Caspio help us for internal process that maybe in a few questions you have, I can explain better. But thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, thank you, Antonio. And I know I was just looking back is that Lenovo's been with Caspio for 11 years now. And we've just been chatting about that you've been with the company for 7 years. So it sounds like you inherited Caspio versus making the decision to move with Caspio. So I'd be interested to hear about from your side as to what was Caspio brought in to solve from a difficulty perspective, or was it an application perspective? What was it, what we were here to solve?
Yeah, here the powerful of Caspio, as you mentioned, when I joined to the company, Caspio was part of the solutions that we had at the moment. So I take the ownership for to start to develop some applications in Caspio, because we saw that we cannot attend some process that the biggest systems offers, so like SAP or MSD, or the highest cost that represent to implement any solution or to modify any existing system. I'm sorry. So with Caspio and the low code that, or the advantage that Caspio offer to Lenovo, it's a possibility to create that any what we need to manage, that includes a database. I mean, we can manage inventories, we can manage sales order, purchase orders, invoicing process. At today, for Lenovo services in LATAM, we have in Caspio approximately 10 applications that support all our operations.
No, it's
Yeah.
good to hear that. Antonio, who are the end users? Who are the people that are using the application?
Mostly the users that using Caspio, it's our service center. As I mentioned before, we have our service center across Latin America,
Yeah.
including Central America and Caribbean. They are our biggest user. So I mean, if, for example, for invoicing process, we request them to load their invoices, to Caspio, or we have a system for or help desk. If they have any issue with other system, we have application where the users needs to create a help desk ticket or something like that. But answering your question, our service center across Latin America,
Yeah.
it's our biggest customers. Yeah.
No, that's good. So I was just thinking, Antonio, I speak to a lot of customers, and some customers have a very technical background and some have zero background around the technical side of it. And obviously they use our experts in-house. But where do you kind of fit in this spectrum? Because I know your background, but it's really around where are you today with your technical expertise, do you think?
Well, if we for example, for technical expertise, are you focused on the development of applications, or what the users can do in our applications develop? in Caspio.
Yeah, it's really around how technical are you, because some of our actual customers have zero technical abilities. And that's when they come to us to support them and kind of build low code. But the idea of low code obviously is exactly what it means. You don't need to be technical to build something. So it's interesting to hear your background. And then obviously you've got something that's really beneficial to Lenovo that's been created out of low code, which I think a lot of people will understand is where do they fit on their spectrum with regards to I'm technical or I'm not technical from a capabilities perspective. So it's just interesting to hear about your background and not being as technical, but now you're obviously IT project manager as well.
Yeah, for example, for me as a IT project manager, it's very easy to build something in Caspio because, for example, if I have a request from a user, hey, I need an application to manage, I don't know, the assets. The solution into the Caspio, obviously, if this represent a solution not very complex,
Yeah.
it's very easy to build in Caspio. For example, in 1-2 days, I have the application ready to share with my users. If and for example, when we implement some more complex application like a help desk
Yeah.
or the invoicing process, this application includes approximately 25 or 30 data pages. But to be honest with you, to develop in Caspio, it's very, very easy. For us, it takes approximately 2 weeks to have all the application ready. And as you know, for each company, it's to implement any process in a level system. It's represent to saving in terms of cost
Yeah.
and time.
Yeah, I was
And
going to ask you that, Antonio. What kind of return on investment are you seeing? Is it more kind of, is it efficiency savings or is it hard dollar savings or is it kind of a combination of both?
it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely. Yeah.
so what type of benefits are you seeing? I know you talked about the efficiency and obviously hard dollar savings, a combination, but what benefits are you seeing by working with Caspio?
The benefit is for example, if we want to implement any modification in our biggest systems like Microsoft Dynamics or something like that,
Yeah.
this represent a highest cost and with some limitations that maybe for the type of process that we need to implement, it's not facile to implement it. So with Caspio, the saving it's mostly in time
Yeah.
and in terms of cost. If we compare with the biggest solutions, yeah, it's huge the saving.
No, that's great to hear. And
Yeah.
again, every customer I speak to has a different story to tell and a different benefit by working with Caspio. So it's always good to hear where the value is and the benefit is with each of the customers. So what I'm just thinking about customers that are thinking about using low code and maybe Caspio as well is what advice would you give them?
The first, I think it's no fears. So if you are not a developer of you have skills for programming or it's very easy. It's very easy in Caspio. It's a process that the platform guides you for every step you need, what you need to configure it, what you need to see, what kind of data you need into table or in the initial load. And another thing or important thing is the support that you bring. For example, you have a lot of training material in your YouTube page. This material is very helpful for me because, for example, if I want to do any enhancement in my existing applications, I go back to your YouTube channel and hey, this is good to see, and I do some testings, and after that I implement it in my applications.
Yeah.
Another is the support that you bring. If I open a ticket in 1 hour, 2 hours, I have a solution. or the knowledge base, it's very you cover multiple topics from the initial steps to the tech tips to help us to improve our applications.
I think what we find, Antonio, is that it's providing the flexibility. So if you're quite technical, you can go on YouTube and look at some of the training videos, because the likelihood we've probably built either something that you want specifically with another customer or something very close. So there's a lot of training information, like you said, on YouTube. We also do weekly training. I think it's every Wednesday with one of our social evangelists. So there's things that we do. But again, obviously, if somebody's not that technical, that's when we have our support team and we have our professional services team that can help that person or that company build what they're looking for. So it's kind of going back to what I said before, it dependent on the spectrum as to where the actual individual contact is going to be, whether it's going to be technical or not technical. We can have something, whether it's a self-serve, like you said, with YouTube videos, or it's going to be somebody where they're going to need much more support to build their kind of idea. So I love the flexibility, and that's the feedback I get from a lot of customers. Is it's flexible, dependent on my experience level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And here one additional thing, it's the releases that you did every month. You include some new features that maybe in the past I cannot or I cannot include in my application, but now when you release that, it's very important for us that you continue doing this kind of releases, or in to add any new features, like and now you have the designer. For us, this is something that we are waiting for a lot, but now that you have the possibility to create a more professional page for our final customers, it's very, very important for us that you continue including this kind of features.
Yeah, that's great feedback. Yeah, that's good. Thank you for sharing that, Antonio. And really, I suppose my last question is really, as where you are today, where do you see Caspio and no code and low code helping you in the future?
To be honest, will help us a lot. Today, Caspio is considered every fiscal year that we plan what we need to implement. It's the applications that we develop in Caspio always is considered. At the future, if you continue in the line that I mentioned before, I think that the relationship between Caspio and Lenovo will be very, very strong. So yeah, I see a lot of opportunities in Caspio, and obviously to continue working with Lenovo hand to hand.
Well, Antonio, thank you so much for your business and for being a Caspio customer. We really appreciate it. And thank you for sharing your low-code journey with everyone today. So thank you very much. And we'll be talking very soon. Bye for now.
Thank you, you too, Paul. My pleasure.